What is going on, everyone? This is Nero again, here for you an episode of Dear Nero. So let's do a quick cover on what Dear Nero is in case you're unfamiliar with the series. So Dear Nero is a series around my channel where you guys send me personal messages here on YouTube with the tagline Dear Nero. I read through them, I take the best possible questions, and I answer them here in the video. That's how this works. And when I say the best possible questions, that actually causes sometimes for some difficulties. Like this week's episode, I got tons of good messages this week, and I had a hard time deciding which questions should I answer, which questions should I not, which questions are just really good that can't just be avoided, and it was hard. That's why it's kind of a longer video. So, the gameplay when I do this series is really irrelevant. It's kind of just there for visual stimulation. You guys can just, enjoy it, sit back, relax, and watch it, give you something to look at while I talk. But to cover on gameplay, so this is actually a really good domination match I got on Carbon with the M4 red dot and silencer, and you guys be checking out the final score. I think it's a pretty good overall game. I got it like a week ago. And the second gameplay is actually Call of Duty World at War, the game mode War, on Hangar with the Car 98K. So both pretty decent gameplays. I think you'll enjoy them both. They're basically just kind of smushed together so you guys can have like a 15 minutes worth of gameplay to watch while I talk, give me more than enough time to answer these questions for you guys. But let's hop into this. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this week's episode of Dear Nero. So he writes, Dear Nero. So here's the situation. In June of 2011, I moved to Oregon. I made some friends at band camp, and one of them became my best friend. I'm a sophomore this year, and he will be a senior. For him being a senior, there are a lot of parties for him to go to, and I have heard of some of these awesome stories about 10 people chilling, smoking weed, drinking vodka, and girls and guys just having sex all over. A typical high school party, I'm guessing. I'm looking for some other opinions. Maybe you can look at this from a different point of view. My friend wants me to go to a party with him. I already know I won't be drinking, but I want to try some weed and possibly have sex. I'm just afraid of the consequences, like wanting more weed, or having drug problems, or having sex with a girl and her not being satisfied because honestly I'm 15 and my package isn't at its full potential. Should I just relax and have some fun, or completely deny my friend and regret possibly having the best time of my life? Love you and your videos. Keep doing your thing. Sincerely, Meow from Oregon. Well, Mr. Meow from Oregon, I'm going to do my best. I had actually thought long and hard the best possible way to answer this, because it's a touchy subject. It's tricky because this is something that a lot of people go through this. So, should you just relax and have some fun? Yeah, no. So let me give you my personal experience. So when I'm 20 now, but when I first got into high school, my freshman year, I would go to parties. That's just what we did. We'd go to parties, we'd drink, we'd smoke, we'd do all that cool stuff. I don't do any of it anymore, but it's been a long time since I drank actually, and smoked even for that matter. I'd say about 4 years. Yeah, something like that. And I'd go. It was a cool thing to do, right? It feels good to feel socially accepted. You go to the party. That's just what everyone does. But in all seriousness, from my experience, parties are not as cool as this guy makes it sound. From the way this guy makes it sound, you show up and everyone's drunk and stoned and is having an awesome orgy. It's really not like that. I've been to outdoor parties. I've been to house parties. House party was a little bit more fun. You're inside. Obviously, you're not out in the freaking cold next to a fire, which like outdoor parties in Pennsylvania are like that. And people are all in there, but people are arguing, people are fighting, people are breaking stuff. It's just and everyone's drunk or high or both, and it's just not really a fun environment for me. I'm not sure what your experiences are with being around people who are like that, but it's not exactly fun. And the only way to tolerate it is to do it yourself, and I don't really recommend that. I don't, my personal advice to you is I don't think you should drink. I don't think you should smoke weed either. That's my advice. But obviously, it's kind of a rite of passage for high school, I guess, in some ways. Typically, everyone's gone to at least one party, once they got in high school, at least once, just to kind of see what it's like. My opinion, or my opinions, my thoughts, my advice for you is I don't think you should blow off your friend. This guy obviously means something to you. He's not in a gay way. Obviously he's just your friend. He's your best friend. And you don't want to blow him off, you don't want to piss him off, but he does want you to kind of go to a party with him. So, my advice, maybe you go to that party. Maybe you go, don't drink, don't smoke, and if you do decide to have sex, be careful as shit. Because one, if you take my advice and don't drink and don't smoke, just go, just relax, have some fun, maybe meet some people. You being sober and decide to hook up with a girl who's drunk, I don't think I need to go any further than that. That can turn out pretty bad. That can turn out pretty bad for you and her. So be careful with that. If you do want to go in there, you find a girl and you guys get to chatting, and she maybe she doesn't want to drink or smoke like you. Maybe you guys do something. Who knows? You're 15. If you feel as though you're ready enough physically and emotionally for that, go for it. That I can't make that decision for you. Just be safe, be smart about it. You did say you wanted to try weed. I can tell you what weed's like, man. It sucks. It's stupid. It makes you not want to do anything. All right, I've done weed a couple different times, and I've tried it, and I've had a couple different experiences. One time, I literally felt like doing nothing at all. Like seriously, I felt like going to sleep, and I did, and I slept the freaking night away. That's all I did. Another time, I freaked out too. Like I don't know what was in it, or if it was weird, or if it was different, or I don't know. But obviously it wasn't happening. But it felt like every vein in my body was throbbing. Like I could hear my heartbeat all the time. I don't know. It was freaky. I never wanted to do it again since then. You say you want to do weed, but do you really want to start doing drugs? Weed is a drug. People give me shit for that. Weed's a drug. It is. I've made a 2-part video series about how gaming changed my life, how all my friends, we used to hang out, we used to drink and whatnot, and then how they continued going further and further with it, and then I just slid away from them and started playing video games, and that's what led me here today. I stopped hanging out with them. Now I have a YouTube channel. Now I do productive things, and I'm not in jail like most of them. So I don't think you should try weed. If you want to drink, I don't think you should. That's I want to be the cool guy. I want to be the cool commentator that says, what, maybe go out and have a party and you just have a couple beers with your friends. No big deal. No, but you seem to be okay. You seem to be on the same wavelength as me, with not wanting to drink. So my honest opinion, you tell your friend you don't want to blow him off. But if you want to experience a party, go with him. If you want to go with your friend, go with him. Just avoid drugs and alcohol. Like that's my honest to goodness opinion. And be careful if you do hook up with a girl. That would be my honest to goodness opinion. I spent a really long time on that question, but I really wanted to get that. That was like one of the best questions I've gotten in a long time. I really wanted to answer it, and I'm sure a lot of you, school's starting up right now. I'm sure a lot of you guys were in the same spot. So I figured I would answer that for you guys. It's a good one. It's a good one. So let's scroll up through here. I'm gonna see if I can find a better one. Here's one about YouTube. Let's talk about sex, drugs, and Call of Duty for this video, right? Sex, drugs, and COD. So he writes, Dear Nero, if YouTube were to go away tomorrow, what would you do? Like if there was no money in YouTube. He neglected to leave his name, by the way. So at first it sounded like, what would you do if YouTube just like blew up, like kind of like MySpace, and like just no one used it anymore? That would suck. If randomly there was just no YouTube, that would suck. That would suck pretty bad because I really enjoy doing this. But the thing about that to me is though, I don't think there will ever not be YouTube, or at least a form of YouTube. Like MySpace. MySpace was the biggest damn thing in the world. I may be dating myself here, but I'm not sure how many of you are old enough to even have MySpace. But MySpace was huge. Everyone used it. Everyone used MySpace. Then everyone went to Facebook. Now MySpace is dead. If that were to happen to YouTube and some other website just overtakes it, and it just becomes a better version of YouTube, which is kind of what Facebook is to MySpace, I'm sure it's gonna be the same thing in terms of there's gonna be a partner program, and Cinema's probably gonna go over there and start stuff going up on there. I don't think this format of a website like YouTube is ever gonna go away. So, but to answer your question, like if there was no money on YouTube, whew, that would it would suck. I mean, obviously the money's a great part, but I would still continue to make videos. But in all honesty, I probably wouldn't put out as much as I do now, because if you guys haven't noticed, I put out sometimes like 9 a week because I'm really trying to grow my channel. I'm really going hard with this. But if money weren't involved, I would relax. I would stop trying to thrive for more and more subs and more followers and stuff. You try and just become the next big thing, and I would just chill with it, which I'm pretty much that way now. But I would just chill with it. I would just have the subs I have now, and I would just chat with you guys. We'd do whatever. I would just make videos, just talking to you guys, telling you how my day was, and asking how yours was, and just become our own little, I don't know, friend space thing. I don't know. Does that make sense? Like, I would do YouTube. I probably wouldn't put as much time and effort into it as I do now. That's probably the best way I could answer that question. Let's see if we got another one here. Well, we just talked about sex and drugs and parties and YouTube. Let's talk about 2012. Good. Well, yeah, that's fine. So he writes, Dear Nero, this is the year 2012. Really, I didn't know that. And you probably know all about the December 21st theories, example, the end of the world. So do you think anything will happen, or is it just a hoax even though it's the end of the Mayan calendar? So I haven't really read too much into this. It's pretty stupid. I have some examples. I don't know exact dates on them or exact shit like that. Okay, let's picture this. The Mayan calendar was written how long ago? Can anyone answer this for me? How long ago? When did we start doing leap years? How long ago? Not too long ago? Really? Not that long ago. If the Mayan calendar, if it weren't for leap years, according to the Mayan calendar, the way it was written, 2012 should have happened like 70 years ago or something like that. I read this somewhere. I'm not sure if it's fact. That right there made me stop thinking about it. Obviously, it's kind of scary. It's in the back of your head. What if the world randomly ends? Because it can happen at any time. Universes can implode. It can happen at any time. But at the end of the Mayan calendar, maybe his big rock ran out of space. The Mayan calendar was written on a rock. Okay? There's not that much space. Think about it. I don't know. Do I think it's real? No. Do I, shut down every theory? No. It's weird. I don't really know what to think. I think whatever happens, happens. Do I think anything is actually going to happen? Probably not. One of the reasons I think about this is if the world was going to end, if it was already predicted, I'm sure we would be doing something to prevent it. Or at least protect ourselves from it. So if you guys don't know, see, I wish I would did more research before I answer this question. There's a meteor that's supposed to come pretty close to Earth in about 20 years, like really close, and we already know about it, and we're already preparing for it. Like we're gonna be sending something into space that hit this meteor that's gonna knock off its path and make it completely avoid the Earth. We're preparing for something that's happening 20 years from now. If this Mayan, 2012, everything's gonna end thing were real, we would be preparing for that. If it were real, the government would know about it, and we wouldn't be preparing for something that's going to be happening in 20 years that we know for a fact is going to happen in 20 years. I don't think about it. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, it's all speculation. It's all hoax. It's all a bunch of shenanigans. It's basically give me my honest opinion on it. Let's see what we got here. Sports! Yes, sports. All right, so he writes, Dear Nero. First off, I would like to start... Why am I so bad at reading? Oh, then again, this guy's kind of bad at writing. It's all one sentence. So he writes, Dear Nero. First off, I would like to start that I'm sorry for sending in this question so late, but here's my question, Nero. Do you like or play any sports besides golf? I hate golf, sorry, but it's so boring to watch. Please don't hate on me. I think the gist of that was, do I like other sports than golf? I fucking love sports. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I talk about sports. At least I talk about sports a lot. Do I like or have I played other sports? I like, I'm not really into the NBA. I'm not really into Major League Baseball. I mean, kind of Major League Baseball, but I'm really into the NFL. I used to be into hockey, not so much. I really like playing golf. Growing up, elementary school, high school, and middle school, I played baseball, basketball, and football. There's no real hockey around here. I also did track and field. I was actually a pretty good high jumper and a sprinter. I like sports. Sports are awesome. If you don't like golf, I'm not going to hate on you. That's cool. But I feel like this was a good question to answer just because I don't know how many of you actually follow me on Twitter, how many of you actually know that I really like sports. Maybe it's because, I don't know. Sports are fun. I think everyone should get into a sport. Sports are a great pastime. They're a great way to stay in shape. They're good overall. And I really like most sports. If I had to pick a least favorite sport, probably hockey, then probably basketball. I mean, I don't know. If I had to pick favorite sports in order, probably football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Those are like the four major sports. Then there's soccer or football in other parts of the world. I'm not so much into soccer. I'm really not. I mean, hate on me. I said it. Do with me what you will. I don't like soccer. I think it's boring. I'm going to get so much hate for that. I have so many European fans. They're going to kick my ass. All right, new topic, new question. Do I have any more questions right here? Here's a cute one. He writes, Dear Nero, if you were to ever have a kid, and what would you name it? But for both boy and girl. So my immediate thought is if I were to have a boy, how cool would it be if that boy's name was Nero? But now I want to do that. I've joked around with this with my friends. If you were to have a boy, what would you name it? And we've actually talked about this, because my cousin Nick had a son about a year and a half ago. SB Grizzly had his son. His second son, now I feel like a douche. It was a month or so. It was either a little less or a little more than a month ago. And I'm like, so what are you gonna name the lad? And he named him Ryan. But I'm like, dude, you need to name your son legit with a 3. And he's like, no. In all honesty, if I had to name a boy, this is kind of cliche. Or I mean, they're not really original, but I've always had these ideas for names, like ever since I was younger. If it was a boy, Jeff. If it was a girl, Jessica. I don't know why. That's just always been my thoughts, my answers. And I'm looking back to gameplay right now, and I have really short amount of time to try and answer one more question. So I'm gonna try and find one real quick. Do I got one? Kill death ratio. All right, let's talk about more COD. So he writes, Dear Nero, what do you think about people's KD ratios? Meaning, do you think it tells how good a person is at the game? He neglected to leave his name. Do I think KD means anything? No. But in a way, it kind of does. I mean, if someone has a horrible KD, they're obviously not that great of a player. If someone has anywhere between like a 1.5 or higher, they're an above average player. I mean, that's all it really means. Win-loss ratio definitely impresses me more than kill-death ratio does. But we're wrapping it up. There's the end of the gameplay, 28-7. So if you guys all enjoyed this episode of Dear Nero, please remember to like the video. That definitely helps out a lot. Just whatever, rate the video where you guys feel it's theirs. If you guys didn't notice, I'm kind of all over the place right now because I haven't slept yet. I'm very tired. My computer is very slow, and to do these long videos, I have to do them right before I go to bed so they can render overnight. So I still think the video turned out well. I've been stopping periodically and listening to how this commentary went through, and I think it's turned out pretty well. So if you guys like your questions featured on next week's episode of Dear Nero, send me a PM on YouTube with the tagline Dear Nero. Write your question. I'll go through them. If it's good, I'll use it next week's episode. Remember, rate the video. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.
I was banging 7-gram rocks, that's how I roll. Winning. I got one gecko. Winning. Are you bipolar? I'm bi-winner. Win here, win there, win everywhere.